everyone, this is Joe, blogging from Sustainable Living Off the Grid in the Wall Tent. Thought this would be a great time to post our first video blog. We haven't had any activity going on in the last few weeks. For many delays, we'll go over that later in specifics. Financials is probably one of them. We're on a tight budget and things come up. You never know what to expect. So the first step that we suggest that you do is plan on where you're going to put this tent. If you're going to build something similar, you need to know where it's going to go. Whether you buy property, you talk to a local farmer and arrange a certain area on his property where you can put the tent up, or you find family or friends that have property that are willing to let you put the tent up. The good thing is about our project is that you can take it down, pack it up, and ship it anywhere in the world. There's no limitations. It's super compact. The tent itself rolls up into a small bag, about yay big, maybe about 150 pounds, plus the frame, which is probably another couple hundred pounds. I think total the entire system is about 500, 550 pounds, not including the lumber. So once you have a location set up, then you need to really start planning. You need to shop around, you need to find out where your lumber is going to come from, how much it's going to cost, and you need to anticipate the overall cost at maximum retail price. We all like to shop around. We want to be as sustainable as possible. Finding free lumber is the best option, but sometimes we can't do that. If you have the extra money, reclaimed wood is a great way to build. Unfortunately, reclaimed wood is way more expensive than buying lumber brand new. It makes sense in some ways, in others it doesn't. So if you have the money, buy reclaimed wood from old barns, old buildings, old furniture, whatever the case may be, to build your tent without having to buy new wood that has to be logged from the forests. If you do have to buy wood that's brand new from lumber yards or from Home Depot or Lowe's or any other Home Depot craft store, make sure that you find the seal that says that it's been sustainable forested, which means that they do selective and they replant, and it's not the best method, but it's definitely a better alternative than buying wood without the label, where they basically just mow down forests and leave them to die. So you want to shop around, you want to find the best prices you can. Using Craigslist is the #1 option. You can find basically any lumber that you need to build anything on Craigslist for free. Yeah, for free. The only problem is it takes time. You can't generally go on Craigslist and find 100 pieces of the same size wood that you would need, or plywood for that matter. Plywood is pretty rare to come by. Even when you go to the restores, they still have basically the same price as if you were to go to a department store. So, with that in mind, you want to plan everything out. You want to go on websites, you want to visit stores, and anticipate the highest cost, full retail, that all your materials will be. For nails, for lumber, for plywood, for the galvanized steel sheets that will cover your roof and also collect rainwater. That way, once you go on Craigslist, or you talk to people and you get better prices, you know that you're only saving money from your original goal. You won't end up being over budget. You'll always have a little extra money if you plan for the worst. The next thing you want to worry about is transporting. Somebody like me and Nicole, we only have small cars. I have a small Acura Integra and Nicole has a RAV4. So it's not practical at all to try to move 150 pieces of lumber plus steel plus 4x4s in the small car. So you need to either find a friend that has a truck, maybe rent the truck from one of the stores that sells the lumber, or if you have a truck yourself, you can do that. If you're in a very remote place, you can use helicopters. You can put all the lumber and all the materials in a package and have the helicopter lift it and then move it to the designated area. Transporting is very important. That's kind of why we started doing this blog. The truck can only make it so far up on the farm. We have an irrigation ditch dug, and getting the truck past the irrigation ditch is not possible. So we have to drop off all the lumber where I'm standing and then move it one piece at a time to the tent location. It's not very far, but you figure 150 pieces of lumber, one at a time, takes a very long time to move it. And especially when it's been very hot out, it's pretty exhausting. So that's important, transportation. You need to figure out how you're going to get your lumber and your materials from point A to point B. The next step is who's going to build the subfloor and the roof system for your sustainable tent. Are you going to do it yourself, or are you going to pay someone to do it? Contractors can be expensive. If you find a good one, they might work with you and maybe lower the price for you. But I would anticipate spending about $1,500 on total building of the subfloor and the roof. And that doesn't really take into account if you live in a very remote area. Say you're 20 miles off the grid, some contractors might not want to drive out that far, or if they do, they might want to charge extra. So all these things are very important to figure out before you start building, before you put investment into a tent, before you start bringing in lumber. You need to expect what it's going to cost. Always expect the unexpected. Anything that you can think of being the worst possible scenario will probably happen to you. So you need to anticipate that. Lumber prices change on a daily basis, and they can double very easily, which is what happened with us. Just a few months ago, lumber was about half the price of what we're paying for it now, which greatly impacted our project. We had a certain budget, and by the lumber fluctuating in price, gave us a lot less money to buy things such as on-demand hot water, gutters, rain collection system, things like that. So it's really good to know what you're getting yourself into, how much it's going to cost, and especially where you're going to put the tent. Always expect a delay, always expect the unexpected, and it's probably going to happen because it happened to us. So here's the last piece of lumber. This isn't going to be used in the subfloor. It's not going to be used in the actual construction of our tent for structural reasons, but it will be used to build possibly our kitchen counter, maybe some chairs, some tables, whatever we need to live inside the tent. So this is where we dropped all the wood. I think total is about 160 pieces. Now we're down to the last one. We've already moved it. So I'm going to bring you along so you can kind of see just a short distance how hard it can be to move this much lumber. So Nicole's on the camera. She's going to follow me with the lumber, and we're going to take you up on top and show you where the tent's going to go. So here we are. This is where all the lumber had to get moved to by hand, one piece at a time. Didn't take a whole lot of time, but like I said, you multiply that by about 150 to 200 times. It's a lot of walking. And since the trench was built, we had to come over a couple of bridges. So anticipate these things. If it's raining, you have to go over streams, through mountains. there's a disaster situation and there's rubble on the ground, broken buildings, you really need to figure out how you're going to get your lumber from point A to point B. So this is all the lumber that we're going to need, minus the galvanized steel roofing that we need to collect rainwater with, and the plywood that's going to go down on the floor, and obviously decking. Decking, we're going to find anything and everything that we can on Craigslist for free. We're not going to buy decking new, it's a guarantee. We're going to keep that sustainable. We only need to buy what we need to live. So this is approximately 150 to 160 pieces of wood. Over on the other side you can see construction's begun on the subfloor. Contractor's going to build some boxes, place the posts in the ground, and then attach the boxes to the posts. And then the roof will go up. This is our location. On one side we have a beautiful vineyard. Behind the vineyard there's an apple orchard, and then out in the distance is a very large wheat field. So we don't have any neighbors. Very little activity up here. We're walking distance from the CSA, and we're in the middle of an orchard. So this is pristine conditions. We couldn't really ask for anything else. So that's about it for this video blog. It's the first of many to come. Thank you for tuning in. If anyone has questions, please post it on our Facebook page. We're also on Tumblr, WordPress, Blogspot, and there's a few others out there, but Facebook is probably the easiest to get a hold of us. We definitely encourage people to come out and visit. If you would like to come and see the tent, or maybe volunteer some time to come and help us get set up, we're welcome and open to that. Just let us know, give us a little bit of time. We do work, Nicole and I both work. We do manage the CSA, and we're still trying to build the tent. So be patient, and we really look forward to talking with you guys again. Thanks for tuning in.